First of all, I thought we had a very competitive scrimmage. I liked the way that both sides went at it. I thought they competed hard. I thought there was some good hitting in the game, good clean play. I thought you saw some youth in some positions early that showed, and then they grew as the game went on. I think it was a great time to get out there on that field and have to play in that environment. But overall, I was not displeased at all. I liked what I saw. I know we're 3.5 months into this. We got a lot of work to do. We still had, I think, 8 starters out or whatever it was. But very pleased that how we progressed. A couple turnovers early on the handoff here, but Freddie hadn't been back there much. But I really liked the way he ran the football. He's a natural runner with the ball. I think he can help us. I thought Sean McGuire come out early, played really well. One of his best showings as far as saw a lot of things out of Sean that I really liked. John Franklin finished up well, very proud of that. Thought Jameis early started slow, but we didn't have many guys open. That secondary was locking them down, then we gradually got guys open. He made some throws, and we had a couple drops in that game, quite a few, but he made 2 or 3 really nice throws in the game. I don't worry about that, but I mean, overall, I thought we had a good day. I thought the offensive line at times, we ran the ball for not having a lot of backs. I thought Giorgio Newberry flashed at me, not just getting sacks, but batting balls. His length inside is what I was hoping it would be with disruption. I think he's getting much better. I feel very good about Casher. Goldman didn't play much today. He and Mario, I feel very comfortable there. 6 flash. I mean, Matthew Thomas, I call him 6. He flashed at me a bunch. Saw Terrence Smith, Northrop. I'm trying to think who was the other linebacker inside on the other. Levenberry. That's what I was saying. EJ made some nice plays. I really like the second. I think Marquez made some nice plays. PJ and Judding, of course, are playing their tails off. Great to see Tyler Hunter out there, and I know we'd be anxious to get that green jersey off of him. But very pleased. I thought Kareem come in and did a nice job for his first time out there. Got with the ones in the second half. Had to block some guys in the first half. But I was very pleased in the end of it. I mean, there's a lot of work to do. We're nowhere close to where we need to be, but I can picture where we're going to be and what we're going to be. I really can.
Jimbo, your quarterback obviously doesn't need to work. Was he in so much just to get the receivers some reps?
Yeah, the more they play together, the more body language, the more, and he can see them under pressure situations, how they're going to react, what they're going to do. I think just the more you're together, the more you're going to know each other.
That first string defense, especially the secondary, like you talked about, you lost some big time players, but it looks like
there really are, and Darby's not even out there. I mean, you got Darby not even out there, but I mean, Jalen Ramsey and PJ and Darby and Marquez, and I'm going to tell you, Trey Marshall's going to be a heck of a player in that group, and Nate Andrews wasn't out there either. I mean, but lots, you saw LaMarcus Brutus playing good football. I mean, there was a lot of guys emerging in that group with a lot of depth and a lot of combinations we can use back there. There's other guys, I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but very proud of the way they're doing. I love that secondary. And I'm going to tell you what they are too. I don't mean they're tackle well, they cover well, also good blitzers, good pressure package guys, and long guys.
Can you assess how your first team receivers did against the first team?
I have to watch. Early didn't get open as well, you know what I mean? But that's kind of expected. But then as the game went on, they gradually made more plays and did things, and we helped them get open with some formations and different things we did. But I'll look at it, but I'm not disappointed in them at all. I thought, again, Bobo made a really nice long catch, which shows he's got to hang on the ball, get hit from behind, but that's part of his maturity. That's part of him growing and being in that position. Rashad actually had a couple drops, but still had a lot of catches. Good, solid day.
Is that an example of some of those guys growing as the game went on?
There's no doubt. And you relax and you realize that the sky's not falling and the world's not coming to an end. And I'll relax and play up to your capabilities. And again, that's why a spring game is important to me, because it is different than a practice. There's people there and the lights are on and y'all are here. So to them, it's really different. I really did the last 4 or 5 practices. I mean, we didn't get it to him as much because we had the other backs early, but as we moved him back there, you remember me saying that a couple practices ago, I really like the way Freddie runs the football. And as he polishes his routes, he had a chance to catch a couple balls, and he's drifting on those flat routes a little bit. But as he learns, it's just, the guy ain't done it a lot. When he learns to flatten those things out, that's a big 235, 40-pound guy that's a great mismatch. Carlos is big and fast. He's big and heavy. And then you got the other guys. I mean, it's a really good combination of things.
Coach, Isaiah Jones seemed to play big after that.
Something really good. Isaiah struggled early in scrimmages. He got a little nervous and kind of went in the tank a little bit, and he got better each spring. The last scrimmage played much better, and I was extremely pleased the way, because I'm going to tell you what he is now. He's physical. He's tough. He is a naturally tough guy, and he doesn't mind the contact. And I think once he relaxes and realizes, he puts a lot of pressure on himself and grows too, this youth, but he has a chance to be a good football player.
Jimbo, you mentioned some of the linebackers.
Kermit, too, jumped off that today, made some nice plays. I'm sorry.
You mentioned some of the linebackers really replacing Christian and Telvin, some of those young guys. How do you think that unit did as a whole?
They really flashed as it went on. I mean, 6 and 11. I mean, those guys are good tacklers in space. I tell you what, I saw a lot of coverage things. Getting deep in coverage, disrupting lanes, making the balls get up, and then breaking on balls and tackling in space, which, you know, those guys got to do. I was very pleased with that. I think that group is a very talented group of guys and a tough group. And the thing about them, too, they're long. They're big and long, athletic.
Wasn't Hoskins kind of under the radar recruiting?
Yeah, he was. I mean, he only really played that football a couple of years. He's a basketball guy. And he was a receiver, and they moved to linebacker 1 year. Now we got him at DN and backer as a combination. We'll use him both. But he's a redshirt freshman who I think has a really bright future.
Coach, what about Kareem Marr? It looks like you guys moved him over to the Garnet side as well to get some reps.
We did with the one line to get that continuity and get him used to playing with those guys. I mean, Kareem's going to help us this year and be a major impact.
You talked about Jameis today, and I know we asked you 2 weeks ago about his progress throughout the spring. Now that spring's over, how would you assess the progress Jameis has made?
I think solid. I think he's had a good spring. You know, I mean, you know, you say, all right, how do you improve? It's like Roberto. He and Roberto, Jameis threw 40 touchdowns. There's some things he can work on. You know, Roberto kicks 94 extra points and 21 out of 22. What do you improve on? Well, you know, what you do is, what I tell those guys, the downfall of most great players and great people is boredom. You get bored of doing something over and over and over, and you think there's something magical there that you have to change. And that, you know, it doesn't work, and I got to get better. Well, and Jameis has got to, he does get better, but what he's got to do is, like, give me 1% in your reads. Give me 1% in your footwork. Give me 1% in your accuracy. Give me 1% in your third down decisions. Give me 1% in your blitz pickup. Now all of a sudden we have 6%. That's a major difference. And I think that's where I think everybody wants to see, I think when you talk about changes, something that just jumps off the page at you. Well, he didn't do really anything bad. But you can always find the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%. It's not always going to be, sometimes your eyes may not see it, and I'm not trying to be, you know, but it's just little things. But all of a sudden 1% in 4 areas equal 4 or 5%. That's a major change. And I think that's what he's doing a good job. You know, he dumped down to Nigel Terrell 4 or 5 times a day, just on the backside of the 5th read of a route. You know what I mean? And got to the progression. And, you know, little things like that he's gradually growing at. And I think that's where you're going to see the changes. I don't think it's going to be anything that people just say, oh, I know he's doing that better now. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be subtle things in all of it because he does everything so well.